please rise for the passing of the colors and the singing of the national anthem by Paul Wolf.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. To those receiving degrees today, to their families and friends, to the faculty, staff, and students, and on behalf of the university, I extend a warm welcome to the Fall 2014 Commencement in its 143rd year of the university. And now, Ms. Amanda Brown, historian of the class of 2015, will give the opening reflections.
My fellow graduates, graduation is a time for reflection as well as anticipation. Today is a good day for our newest Virginia Tech graduates to reflect on the official Hokie bucket list. This is a list of 72 items that graduates should have accomplished before arriving here today. The list ranges from jumping to enter Sandman at a home football game to visiting the April 16th memorial, It includes practicing our motto, Ut Prosum, attending Ring Premiere, and eating Sunday brunch at D2 or West End. The Hokie bucket list would not be complete without enjoying a Virginia slice from Benny's or getting a parking ticket from Parking Services. And let's face it, getting a picture with the Hokie bird is a must. The final thing on our list is, of course, to graduate. Yeah? This is only a sampling of all the incredible memories from being a Hokie. Each of you has a different story to reflect upon about your college years. Now is the time to consider how you will use your Virginia Tech experience. The bucket list you completed over the past 4 years will surely influence a new bucket list you create from this day forward. It is my hope that your future bucket list will include representing your school proudly in everything that you do, looking forward with anticipation to returning to Virginia Tech for any home football games and reunions, and even a slice from Benny's now and then. Whatever your new bucket list includes, and wherever life takes you after graduation, may the Hokie spirit you feel today help you build an exciting future for tomorrow. Congratulations.
Thank you, Amanda. With us today are members of our governing body, the Virginia Tech Board of Visitors. Please welcome board members Rector Deborah Petrine, Mr. James Chapman, Dr. Nancy Dye, Mr. Cordell Falk, and Mr. Dennis Tracy. Also on stage is Mr. Austin LaRue, our undergraduate student representative to the board. Ladies and gentlemen, please recognize with your applause these members and representatives to the university's governing body who are here with us today. And now, Mr. Matthew Winston, who is currently serving his second term as president of the Virginia Tech Alumni Association Board of Directors, will bring the greetings on behalf of the alumni. He is a 1990 graduate of Virginia Tech, having earned a Bachelor of Science degree in Marketing Management from the R.B. Pamplin College of Business. After earning his degree, he served for 8 years as the News Bureau Director at Virginia Tech. He currently works at the University of Georgia, where he serves as Assistant to the President, and his other roles have included News Bureau Manager and Acting Director of the Office of Institutional Diversity. He also serves as Vice President of the Southern Regional Council and on the Executive Committee of the Athens Area Chamber of Commerce. He has almost 25 years of experience in higher education, having served as a trustee and a commissioner for the Council for Advancement and Support of Education and secretary of that organization's district board, as well as a member of the Ron Clark Academy Advisory Board, Phi Kappa Phi Honor Society, and the Virginia Tech Black Cultural Center Advisory Board. Matt, thank you for joining us here today to celebrate with our graduates.
Thank you, President Sands. Excuse me. To the faculty, to the staff, to the administration of this great institution, to the families and guests, and especially to the students, what a wonderful day to be in Blacksburg, Virginia, and on the campus of this wonderful institution. I am honored to stand before you, the fall 2014 graduating class of Virginia Tech, to welcome each of you into what is now your Alumni Association, an organization formed some 138 years ago by the university's first 12 graduates. Those graduates left this campus to pursue dreams and aspirations, serving their fellow citizens in this state, across the country, and indeed around the world. Now it's your turn to venture out on a journey, to set ambitious goals, to address the world's needs, and to be successful in every endeavor that you pursue. The Hokie Nation is 240,000 members strong, made up of former students who faithfully and ably represent the Hokie Nation in their jobs, in their neighborhoods, in their places of worship, in their schools, in athletic arenas, in the courtrooms and boardrooms, in service to our country, and even in space. I encourage you now to follow in their footsteps and make a place for yourself in our Alumni Association. Stay involved with your university. Give it the same energy and opportunity that it has given to you. Stay active with the organizations and stay in touch with people that have made your life meaningful as being a part of the Virginia Tech community. Seek out and engage fellow alums and chapters in your communities where you live and participate fully in the events and in the service projects that they host. Encourage high school students in your community to become Hokies as well. Mentor current students and help our future graduates find employment. And don't be shy about asking a fellow Hokie to do the same for you. And come back to campus whenever possible. Come back for lectures and concerts, reunions, or maybe even to visit a professor or mentor. Come back to Blacksburg to eat a burger at Mike's Grill or a donut at Carol Lee. Come back to the drill fields to play Frisbee, to lay on a blanket, to take pictures, to participate in the most successful Relay for Life endeavor in the country, and to pay respects to our 32 brothers and sisters memorialized in front of Burris Hall. Return to the stadium next fall to jump up and down to the rhythm of Enter Sandman. And come back to show off this beautiful campus to your coworkers, to your children, or to your friends who just were not fortunate enough to attend Virginia Tech. I could not be more proud than to serve you in this role and to welcome you to the Alumni Association of my alma mater, of what was my father's alma mater before mine, and what is now yours. The relationship that you begin today as the newest members of the Virginia Tech Alumni Association will go stronger each minute of each day from now until the end of time. It's called Virginia Tech for Life. And for the rest of your days, you will bear an awesome responsibility, an expectation to use your talents and skills that you have honed here to address the most vexing matters of our time. Look around, watch TV, read the paper. Notice that events such as those that we have recently witnessed in places like Ferguson, New York, Philadelphia, Sydney, Australia, and Pakistan, that demonstrate that right now the world needs you. We need you to be the leaders who guide us through challenges that face our present, and we are depending on you to invent the future. Thus, I leave you with these words. No, not just you, all of you. Know that the world will now expect extraordinary things from you because you are a graduate of Virginia Tech. We are Virginia Tech. Congratulations, happy holidays, and go Hokies.
Thank you, Matt. Now I'm pleased to introduce the president of the class of 2015, Mr. Jean-Luc Pierre Ford.
Good morning, everyone. I would again like to acknowledge the individuals who supported our graduates and making it possible for them to experience Virginia Tech. And of course, congratulations, graduates. You did it. Remember and reflect on the person you were freshman year and how much you've grown into the individual that you are today. Remember coming to orientation and eating all the amazing food at D2 and thinking you were going to eat there every day when you came back in the fall for classes. Remember when you saw the practicality of wearing a lanyard with your keys around your neck. And remember getting lost in Pheasant Run on a Friday night when you were trying to find your group of friends. Now look at how much you've grown. You've upgraded to Turner Place. Keys have been taken off of lanyards, and Pheasant Run has given way to Tots and Hokie House. But above all, I hope that you have grown into an individual of conviction, boldness, and selflessness. That is what it truly means to be a Hokie. This past summer, I was driving back to start my senior year when unfortunately I ran into some car trouble. My radio was blasting Shake It Off by Taylor Swift on the radio when I looked in my rearview mirror and I saw a cloud of white smoke behind me. Directly after, my car lost power, and I was stranded on the side of the road on 81. I was sitting in the driver's seat when a man suddenly knocked on my window. He explained he saw what happened and stopped to see if I was okay. He offered me help and invited me to his van where I was greeted by his wife and son. After speaking with both my mother and my insurance company, I learned that it would cost a few $100s to get my car and myself to Blacksburg. However, the family I was with did not let that happen. Not only did they offer to drive me to Blacksburg, but they used their AAA service to have my car towed free of charge. The family was so kind and generous that I mentioned that they were Hokies, and they stopped because they saw that I was a Hokie. Let this be a reminder that no matter where you may travel in the world, Hokies will be a part of your journey to motivate you and to help you along the way. And remember, no matter where your journey may take you, may it bring you back to Blacksburg as often as possible. Congratulations, class of 2014, and go Hokies.
Thank you, Jean-Luc. Now Mr. Paul Wolf will lead us in the singing of the Alma Mater. You will find the words on the inside of the back cover of your program. Please stand and join in.
Sing praise to Alma Mater, dear, for VPI will ever cheer. Come, lift your voices, swell the song, our loyalties to her belong. So stand and sing, all hail to thee, VT, all hail to thee. The orange and maroon you see, that's fighting on to victory. Our strife will not be long this day, for glory lies within the fray. So stand and sing, all hail to thee, VT, all hail to thee. Our loyal sons and daughters one, we raise our banner to the sun. Our motto brings our spirit true, that we may ever serve for you. So stand and sing, all hail to thee, VT, all hail to thee.
Thank you, Mr. Wolf. It gives me great pleasure to introduce our commencement speaker, Dr. Thomas M. Gardner. Oh, please have a seat. Dr. Gardner has been a member of the English faculty since 1982. He was appointed an alumni distinguished professor in 2010. Prior to that, he held the Clifford A. Cutchins III Professorship in English. He's a poet, a playwright, and a literary scholar who explores the minds of American writers. You can read the rest of Dr. Gardner's biography in your program. I'd like to introduce him by reading some of his own words. Dr. Gardner was one of several faculty members who contributed to the book, Teaching Excellence at a Research-Centered University. In his essay titled Minds in the Act of Finding, Dr. Gardner compares the study of literature with listening to a conversation. He writes, "To read well, you need to hear that conversation and know what silent voices have prompted the literary response you are reading." In summation of this point, he says, "We think by listening hard and letting the energy from a text, a teacher, or another student draw something new out of us." Dr. Gardner's approach to literature encourages exploration beyond the page. His students find their literary assignments leading to broader reflections on the world around them. His words fit well with our philosophy here at Virginia Tech. We learn as a community. We learn well when we are able to listen to the silent voices that prompt our conversations. And whatever our disciplines, we are all minds in the act of finding. I encourage you now to listen hard to the words and conversation of Dr. Thomas Gardner.
President Sands, Provost McNamee, members of the Board of Visitors, faculty and staff, family and friends, graduating students. I'm very pleased to be able to speak to you this morning. In the name of all the faculty and staff you've worked with during your time here, I bring you greetings and congratulations. And to my own students who have been working so hard over these past few weeks, I offer special greetings. Congratulations to you all. I'm a writer and a literary critic, which means I spend my days thinking about poems and novels, trying to get at what makes them tick, bringing them into the larger conversations going on all around us, both in the university and the world at large. And sometimes I write poems of my own. Last month, I published a book of prose poems called Poverty Creek Journal. I'm pretty excited about it. It's made up of 52 short pieces drawn from the running journal I kept in 2012. I'm a pretty serious runner. Most mornings I run 6 or 7 miles along the Poverty Creek Trail just off of Pandapis Pond, just over the other side of Brush Mountain from here, that way. I'm sure many of you have run and walked and biked on those trails, and if you haven't, well, that's a reason to come back to Blacksburg. The poems track weather, the landscape, and what passed through my head as I ran each morning. I wanted to start my remarks today by reading a graduation poem from that book. It's spring graduation, I'm afraid, but it's close enough. It's dated May 12th, 2012. Running today in the late afternoon because of graduation chores. 75 degrees and bright sun, the lit spots on the trail swarming with green flies, horseflies attacking my head, and a convoy of dragonflies swooping down and escorting me up the trail. For years, I ran in the afternoon, and now, after 10 years of morning runs, I feel almost as if I had borrowed my old body back. That long afternoon light, the red ball of the sun directly in front of us as Chris and I tore down Harding and skidded right on Patrick Henry, the sun having burned so deep in our eyes that its ghost hovered 4 or 5 steps in front of us after we made the turn. I remember Frank's stories about the coal town he grew up in. I remember its opera house and a missed shot at the buzzer. How large all that has grown in my mind. This cloud of witnesses whirring in the heat, lit spot on the trail leading to lit spot, body, and ghost. Now, I know that's a little dense, but perhaps you caught the feeling of how your mind and memory move when your body is busy doing something else. In this case, my mind moved from the Poverty Creek Trail after graduation with its gauntlet of horseflies and dragonflies to memories of other afternoons and other running buddies, still deeply alive in my head after 20 and 30 years of running together. How large all that has grown in my mind, I write. This cloud of witnesses whirring in the heat. I remember being surprised when that phrase popped into my head, this cloud of witnesses. That phrase wasn't original with me. I had remembered it from the Bible, where the writer of the book of Hebrews is describing life as a race, run towards a goal, a race in which we are surrounded by an invisible cloud of witnesses, encouraging us as we run. My imagination had moved from that afternoon run with its cloud of whirring insects to the cloud of witnesses we all carry in our heads, encouraging us and pointing the way. Even though I had finished my graduation chores and thought I had written about something completely different, I had written a graduation poem after all. Here's what I mean. You've just finished one race, and you're about to begin another and much longer one. And you do so, I want to say, surrounded by a cloud of witnesses you will carry in your head as you run. Sometimes maybe you'll be tempted to swat their voices away like those horseflies out on the trail. But surely, as the race goes on and you draw more and more deeply from their testimony, elaborating it, testing it, extending it into new situations, you'll see what a treasure those voices are. Now, who do I mean? Your family, first of all. Your parents, your grandparents, your siblings, many of them gathered here today. Their examples are so much a part of you that you almost don't realize that the way you think and love and approach the world didn't originate with you, but came in part from the lives they lived out before you, their testimony. And then there are those of us who have been part of your lives for the last 4 or 5 years here at Virginia Tech. Most of you, I hope, have had 1 or 2 mentors who have offered themselves to you as models, training you in a discipline, of course, but also showing you what is possible, encouraging you to tap into ways of thinking and imagining and envisioning you didn't realize you had within you. Mentors don't simply pass on content, but show you what it is like to think, to define a problem, to come up short, to draw on others for support, to serve, to take a stand. I've carried 2 such voices in my head for over 40 years, a track coach and an English professor, and I hope that you will too. Believe me when I say that it is one of the great joys to return in your mind to those voices and testimonies, understanding more and more of what they said and meant and stood for as the questions you bring to them deepen and change. The cloud part of the metaphor is important too. All those whirring dragonflies. I think about this a lot. At a great university such as this one, you're not just isolated in a discipline. You're not just an engineer or a political scientist. You're part of a community, caught up in a cloud of witnesses that includes philosophers and biologists and environmental engineers. Think how important that is. You've done your math or chemistry problems surrounded by people thinking in radically different ways about radically different problems. And the pressure they have put on you to explain yourself, to stop and think and perhaps venture away from what comes easily and naturally has been key to your growth. Doing your work in the presence of other minds who think and feel differently about things changes how you work for the better. That's why we need strong programs in the humanities and the social sciences, along with our traditional strengths in engineering and the lab sciences. We want poets in your head, and set designers, and experts at human nutrition, a great cloud of witnesses speaking out in the classroom, but also in your dorm and on your team and there at work, pushing and prodding and deepening your particular way of making sense of the world. There's a second thought I'd like to leave with you this morning, and I can get at it through another selection from my book. The entry I have in mind begins on a morning I was feeling particularly beat up and awkward as I ran, and then it moves to a memory of the year our family lived overseas in Finland. Here's just a part of it. One of the reasons we spent a year living in Finland 16 years ago was because I wanted to run on the wood chip trails that my hero Lasse Viren had run. I finally met him late that spring. We drove to the hill outside Murskala where he trained and walked a path circling its top. Hardly said a word. When I mentioned the hill sprints that had won him his medals 20 and more years before, he eyed me and then led me to a break in the trees. Maybe you can try them later, he said. I did. But what I mostly remember is walking the trail single file, how even walking he was almost dancing, his right foot flicking twigs and pebbles, composing the trail, and I, without meaning to, following his lead, but stumbling over and over. I admired this great Finnish runner ever since he had won gold medals in the 5K and 10K in 2 consecutive Olympics when I was a runner in college. You can imagine what a thrill it was to spend part of an afternoon with him and walk the trails he had trained on, as awkward as my own body seemed in comparison to his cat-like dancing strides. But even more remarkable was him leading me to a break in the trees, showing me the steep hill he'd done the final stages of his preparation on, and then leaving me alone to attempt my own workout on it. In many ways, that's what we're doing here today. Yes, as you run, you will be surrounded by a great cloud of witnesses, but you will also be doing the running on your own. You've asked us to show the hill we trained on, and we have. It's over there, through the break in the trees. As hard as it will be for us, we know we have to leave you now to do the workout on your own. So much of what you accomplish from here on out will be inward and unseen, private. How you hold yourself in the world, your integrity, how you treat those in need, how you face your fears. We know what you are capable of, perhaps more than you know yourself. It will be hard, especially at first, and it will force you to draw on capabilities you had no idea you have. Maybe like me in the poem, you'll focus at first on your stumbling, but remember, we trusted you enough to lead you to that hill. You're ready for it. There it is, through the trees. And then one last thought and one last story, drawn from the final poem in the book, dated December 30th. I was out that morning, picking my way down icy trails, hardly running at all, and I remembered an experience my wife and I had had a few days before on Christmas afternoon. We had been out walking in the woods and suddenly realized that someone had been there before us and had hung red holiday balls throughout the woods, bright red against the deep pine green. It was beautiful, but it seemed odd and extravagant until we realized that all the balls had been hung at turns and intersections, marking them, almost celebrating them. I don't know if I can fully explain how encouraged I was. What I wrote in my journal a few days later on that icy morning was, "It's the dailiness of these runs I love. Small red Christmas bells scattered through the woods, hanging at turns and intersections, marking off someone's thought." I had been moved by the vision of someone there in the woods before me, celebrating what I want to call its ordinary beauty, the dailiness of pulling on your shoes and running through a familiar landscape. It was as if he or she had left behind little markers or memorials to the most ordinary acts of pausing and looking and feeling joy. We talk a lot about service here at Virginia Tech, and one of the acts of service I'd encourage you to perform is to leave the world changed because you passed through it. That doesn't have to be some sort of dramatic intervention in the world's way of doing things, although, if that's your calling, have at it. A poet that I taught in my last class this semester wrote that what we leave behind is the look of things, what we felt at what we saw. Don't just drift through life. Pay attention. Wonder. Mark your turns and moments of discovery and share them. Make your life a map that other people can read and be encouraged by. Leave these winter woods dotted with red. Today is a great day. Celebrate it and hang an ornament somewhere, and then keep going, hanging another red ball, and then another, and then another. Congratulations. God bless you. We're very proud of you.
Dr. Mark McNamee, Senior Vice President and Provost, will now present the candidates for their respective degrees.
In today's ceremony, we will award degrees to 17 associate degree candidates and approximately 1,310 baccalaureate degree candidates. This group includes students who have completed requirements during first and second summer sessions and fall semester 2014. Later today, we will award our graduate degrees. I will now ask Dr. Karen DePaw, Vice President and Dean for Graduate Education, to tell us about this year's graduate degree recipients.
Good morning. Graduate students, as you know, play an important role in the university in the teaching, research, and service mission, as well as earning their graduate degree. Currently, the university offers 89 master's degrees and 70 doctoral degree programs. Most of these are in Blacksburg, but many of them are also in the National Capital Region, other locations throughout the Commonwealth, and online. This afternoon, we will award many of the 1,145 degrees that were earned during the summer and fall semesters. Please join me in a round of applause for our graduate students.
I would now like to acknowledge those candidates for associate and bachelor's degrees who graduate with distinction and who can be identified by their white sashes. Will these honor graduates please rise and be recognized? Please be seated. Each dean will now present their candidates for the associate and bachelor's degrees. Dr. Alan Grant, Dean of the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences, will present the candidates for associate and bachelor's degrees in that college.
Will all candidates for associate and bachelor's degrees in the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences please rise? Mr. President, I have the honor to present the candidates for associate and bachelor's degree in the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences. Will the marshals please escort these candidates to the stage? Dr. Dave Bevan will present the candidates by name.
Archer Ruffin, Taylor Boone, Andrew Mason, Wesley Thurston, Adam Tabor, Rosa Collins, Sophie Schwartzendruber, Jasmine Poindexter, Jenny No, Emily Salkand, Natasha Nahar, Brian Nestor, Brandon Wyatt, Eddie Martinez, Cassandra Daney, Devin Stiles, Grace Sanders, Paul Williams, Killian Molnar, Benjamin Locklear, Jeffrey Aaron Brooks, Megan Beckwith, Colette McFadden, Caitlin McClung, Alexa Prose, Jordan Long, Samuel Schwartz, Hannah Gumpf, Edith Potter, Caitlin Carter, Paul Kim, Rachel Vang, James Bristow, Chelsea Goulding, Cassandra Hickey, Michael Fulcher, Sydney Garst, Phoebe Carlson, Nathan Daniel Witcher, Victoria Harrington, Amanda Memley, Hannah Robbins, Chelsea Cook, Stephanie Dick, Emily Williams, Hannah Geisler, Tevin Eugene Howard, Emily Bear, Jordan Wiley, Kia Kaiser, Samantha Jack Lynn, Olivia Wallner, Keely Clemon, Bethany Grace Lyon, Sabine Scully, Jeff Irwin, Sharon Oria, Karen Larson. That's it.
Let us give a round of applause to those candidates from the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences. You may be seated. Professor Jack Davis, Dean of the College of Architecture and Urban Studies, will present the candidates for bachelor's degrees in that college.
Will all the candidates for bachelor's degrees in the College of Architecture and Urban Studies please rise? Mr. President, I have the honor to present the candidates for bachelor's degrees in the College of Architecture and Urban Studies. Will the marshals please escort these candidates to the stage? Dr. Sonia Hurt will present the candidates by name.
James Dill, George Harderbeck, Mallory Burrell, Jet Hagee, Miranda Horsham, Robert Redfern, Claudia Estrada, Zachary Davies Mead, Stephen Florig, Sarah Wingfield, Dominic Golia, Kevin Monsalvi, Michael Stoddard, Amy Lewis, Nicholas Ascosi, Alex Barrett. Thank you.
Let us applaud those candidates from the College of Architecture and Urban Studies. Dr. Robert T. Summocrest, Dean of the Pamplin College of Business, will present the candidates for bachelor's degrees in that college.
Will all candidates for bachelor's degrees in Pamplin please rise? President Sands, I have the honor to present to you candidates from the Pamplin College of Business. Will the marshals please escort the candidates to the stage? Dr. Candace Clemens will present the candidates by name.
Jay Vora. David Ratchford. Matthew Wonar Jr. Drew Runahan. Anthony Pinto. Sarah Parker Trin. Philip Bartolucci. Paul White. Ryan Jennings. Katie Ingrao. Alexis Butler. Michael Pilot. Jennifer Scott. Alexandra Bednarsik. Charles Alex Wright. Kevin Steidler. Jennifer Atard. Callie Tomlinson. Jamie McCormick. Nicholas Fazio. Elizabeth Beamer. Kelsey Vickhouse. Brian Doyle. Cameron Terme Zonunis. Nathquan Bui. Brian Lofgren. Caitlin Flippin. Christopher Masseth. Andrew Webster. Kevin Lohr. Madison Irving. Adrienne Sanchez. Lauren Montrose. Ashlyn Hicks. Andrew Smith. Jessica Neal Watkins. Christina Salazar. Olivia Wilson. Catherine Emily Susan McDaniel. Ashley DeLuca. Belita Burhane. Catherine Cowtree. Katie McDowell. Sydney Hannon. Mandeep Ranji. Kathleen Thompson. Alexander Chase Bowser. Ziyu Lee. Ilsa Figueroa. Shelby San Nicolas. Curtis Goodnight. Lauren Hemming. Charles Nathan Wade Jr. Marcus Robinson. Aaron Rubala. Kesu Lowe. Patrick Tresek. Matthew Vaya. Timothy Adams. Harrison Poindexter. Ankush Sharma. Amelia Capalongo. Justina Midas. Stuart Sutphin. James Kraus. Brennan Tripler. Ernest Stansfield. Kyle Springfield. Davis Mayberry. Daniel Jordan McEntee. Nathan McGuire. Tyler Schmidt. Chloe Toner. Kevin Porter. Megan Crawford. Rebecca Pearson. Christine Murray. Sarah Kate King. Adam Winings. Emma Hand. Rita Stokes. Josh Helmendaler. Enoch Cha. Jordan Mangum. Patrick Keene. Wante Song. Philip Callis. John Ram. Amanda Gogolin. Mariah Diaz Colon. James Allerhead. Matthew Cornett. Connor Durham. Hugh Mitchner V. Stephen Butler. Colleen O'Donnell. Tyler Hargis. Bin Han. Chuhan Yuan. Thomas Clokey. Elsa Daku. Ingrid Christ. Alexander Friedman. Matthew Johnson. Mika Bowe. Derek Nelson. Matthew Schaller. Michael Regal. Zane Seals. James Courtney. Benjamin Learoff. Brittany Boone. Donald Gresh III. James Germano. Marissa Vrabel. David Francis. Patrick Messner. Victoria Lashenko. George Clendenin. Jason Park.
Dr. Richard Benson, Dean of the College of Engineering, will present the candidates for bachelor's degrees from that college.
Will all candidates for bachelor's degrees in the College of Engineering please rise? President Sands, I have the honor to present candidates for bachelor's degrees in the College of Engineering. Will the marshals please escort these candidates to the stage? Dr. Beverly Watford will present the candidates by name.
All my babies. Yeah. No. You got nothing better to do. Okay. I will do that in a minute, Alan. Bassem Ramses. Taylor Cruller. Christian Tollefson. Yue Sun. Ryan Turner. Andrew Pollock. Tyler Kelly. Logan Mays. Jonathan Sun. Laura Graham. Benjamin Folsom. Victoria Hampshire. Stephanie Lebaugh. James Flannery. Elena Nadolinsky. Victoria Nelson. Mary Korzempa. Nick Scarbeck. Sarah Tarnvik. Brian Chen. Joseph Kachmar. Bryce Flowers. Sephimer Sarabi. A.J. Norton. David Marillis. Scott Sines. Jason Riddle. William Lund. Reagan Walker. Tyler Weidman. Rohan Lawad. Sanchit Chadha. William Goswick. James Dwight. Matthew Hitchcock. Matthew Kazansnak. Tyler Roberts. Nicholas Evans. Connor Barnes. Will Mecklenburg. David Wynn. Zukai Andy So. Esther Unsun Jung. Robert Staple.
Brendan Smith. Danny Duong Pa Chan. Christopher Gerard Arenas. Peter Kwan. Joseph Lee. Nicholas Trido. Christopher Din. Jason Sapatis. Thomas Witten. Brian Kwan. Alec Nicewick. Patrick Evanson. David Zamor. Orgil Erica. Eric Lewis. Derek Carden. Timothy Eck II. Barsam Doak. Amanda Notaratonio. Matthew Natiris. Jonathan Framerman. Jeff Davis. Kyle Fowler. David Siegel. Connor Maldonado. Kenny Lombard. Leslie Reed. Patrick Harity. Jeffrey Smith. Mark Murphy. Gabriella Laris. John Hale. Brian Dress. Matthew Williams. Kelvin Jan. Stephen Sull. Joseph Pontani. Joshua Strassman. Robert Enright Van Trees. Christian Irvin. Mai Iksen. Ayman Abbas. Michael Burton. Michael Quigg. Rishi Chatterjee. Joshua Ju. Garrett Moran. Louis Huggins. Jesus Rodriguez. Brian Waman. Stephen Young. Chris Ballas. Rebecca Cherry. Grant DePhillips. Catherine Elizabeth Seeley. James Patrick Wynn. Robert Ross Adams. Chris Brown. Austin Lopez Gomez. Benjamin Yu. Nathaniel Lawson. Michael Zarita. Gregory Prevel. Cheyenne Motavalli. Paul Devlin. Jeremy Sanders. Jason Kaiser. Sean Cunningham. Alexander Schaefer. Stephen Tupta. Joseph Skopowski. Mason Mitchell. Michael Matiku. Mohammed Al-Korshami. Leon Koleyane Luizu. Louis Arango. Jordan Vessel. Nicholas Ingolstad. Amy Judd. Matthew Runyon. Patrick Flynn. Matthew Chandler. Kyle McComsey. Alexander Kiaa. Brian Sapolsky. Derek Loftus. Eric Satterthwaite. Brian Burgess. Jonathan Brissette. Matthew Hughes. Eric Chowning. Zachary Hoy. Jake McGillis. Marcus Tedesco. Christina Devine. Matthew Corrales. David Rothrock. Doug Young. Chris Barrett. Matthew Bollinger. Hasib Tahir. David Knapp. Stephen Blackwell. Ryan Tyler Roland. Christina Metzmeyer. Michael Romano. Irene Soto. Thomas Boldridge. Kyle Logan. David Lindley. Ricardo Cruz Folgar. Carlos Folgar. Brian Deegan. Kevin Quinn Moore. Stephen Chen. Rachel Wilson. Caitlin Blackwell. Philip Lekovich. Ji-hoon Hyun. Han Seung Lee. Victoria Bo Choi. Brooke Dinborough. Derek Reardon. William A. Bradshaw. Daniel Toller. Carl Barbie. Matthew Luckham. James Dagras. Tucker Noya. Karen Mai Tran. Gerald W. Council. Stephen O'Connor. Alexander Hevelin. Christopher Sidney. Griffin Bayer Anderson. Greg Robertson. Zachary Colley. Jason Stender. Michael Lull. Timothy Weaver. Theodore Skalanka. Chaul Kendir. Alex Verhoof. Patrick Hennessy. Cameron Shepard. Andrew McCracken. Brett Dietrich. Lucas Sigmund. Vincent Kong. Isaac Kornstein. William McHugh III. Thank you.
Let us applaud the candidates from the College of Engineering. Dr. Elizabeth Spiller, Dean of the College of Liberal Arts and Human Sciences, will present the candidates for bachelor's degrees in that college.
Will all of the candidates for bachelor's degrees in the College of Liberal Arts and Human Sciences please rise? Mr. President, I have the honor to present the candidates for bachelor's degrees in the College of Liberal Arts and Human Sciences. Will the marshals please escort these candidates to the stage? Dr. Robert Stevens will join us to congratulate the candidates as I read their names. Jessica Gladys Clanton.
Carlin Witt. Monica Puckett. Mary Ellen Branistow. Sean Taylor. Stephen Scott. Michael Gancio. Corey Harlow. Fabian Taylor. Paige Romeo. Joseph Conway. Corey Barnett. We can slow down a little bit. Sammy Jo Smith. Katie Stone. Allison Tallman. Kaishoan Jarrett. Dottie Nicholas. Alexandria Weber. Bronte Angelia Lanton. Mugda Sujiat. Caleb Victierez. Justin Schaefer. Brent Benedict. Caleb Ferris. Tay Choi. Molly Altier. Shelby Griffin. Madeline McGuire. Jordan Benjamin Williams. Adriana Balcazar. Tyler Abt. Heidi Harry. Emily Powers. Allison Wellcross. Francis Linkhouse. Marcus Haskett. Melody McNutt. Tiffany Farley. Andrew Lee. Janani Rari. Elkin Gergenti. Kara Stambach. Jake Joyce. Logan Blankenbecker. Samantha Nguyen. Lillian Bork. Emma Cross. James Holmes Britton V. Joe Vickers. Kelly Matusevic. Bryn Matusevic. Allison Wheeler. Stephen Caddick. Matthew Miner. Corey Purvis. Marilyn Lubug. Brittany Kimberly Nicole Grant. Christy D'Souza. Lauren Radzovic. Helen Alexandra Parker. Hannah Mormando. Jessica Crom. Prince Ali Ahmed. Zachary Mancini. Nicholas Machika. Tate Shelby. James Leitch. Michelle Sherwood. Faith Denise Ritchie. Kristen Sorensen. Lena Dargan. Kyle Smith. Gina Restrup. Catherine Brassington. Samantha Fooch. Dominique Hetu. Haley Nemo. Nicole Pantua Navaska. Arabella Myers. Katerina Filova. Erica Goodfriend. Rebecca Wescott. Christina Restrepo. Tom Augustus Bryant. Devin Johnson. Cameron Austin. Luke Anderson. Nicole Bowman. Joanna Johnson. Julia Brankley. Ashley Nicole Barracks. Lauren Hagan. Adam Bronze. Lindsay Clark. Brittany Webb. Holly Herndon. Lauren Middledorf. Bryson Baumgartner. Jaquan Scott. Lauren Kraft. Ryan Lombarduzzi. Kevin Hastings. Gavin Rowe. Trevor Penkwitz. Chelsea Grimm. Helen Elizabeth Kischkaller. Stephen Vickel. Ruby Tran. Chris Conway.
Let us applaud these candidates from the College of Liberal Arts and Human Sciences. Dr. Paul Winnestorfer, Dean of the College of Natural Resources and Environment, will present the candidates for bachelor's degrees in that college.
Will all candidates for the bachelor's degree in the College of Natural Resources and Environment please rise? President Sands, I have the honor to present the candidates for the bachelor's degrees in the College of Natural Resources and Environment. Will the marshals please escort the candidates to the stage? Dr. Dean Stauffer will present the candidates by name.
Joshua Yost. Matthew Dylan Spencer. Fred Nicholas Lancaster IV. Ashley Sharp. Mackenzie Fink. Sarah Crowder. Samuel Belka. Amanda Carciter. Cyrus Adapur. Brian Davidson. Sean Ridge. Matthew Smith. Kelsey Lamb. Amanda Lights. Henry Cantrell. Martin Pillow. Anthony Brinkley. Robert Crowther V. Cameron Owens. Taylor Mead. Andrew Whittleson. Julia McGill. Brandon Stein. Dylan St. Hours. Roby Coffey.
Let us applaud the candidates from the College of Natural Resources and Environment. Dr. Lei Nam Chang, Dean of the College of Science, will present the candidates for bachelor's degrees in that college.
Will all candidates for the bachelor's degree in the College of Science please rise? President Sands, I have the honor and pleasure to present the candidates for the bachelor's degree in the College of Science. Will the marshals please escort the candidates to the stage? Mr. Jerry Vire will be introducing each candidate by name. Thank you.
Reginald Carl Morris Jr. Savannah Kumar. Christopher McDonough. Patrick Weller. Josh Chambers. Ethan Harsh. Tassin Anwar. Spencer Lovegrove. Sotia Correll. Shannon Lucas. Brittany McCauley. Nicholas Rosenberger. Kim Shannon Nguyen. Shannon Scully. Emil Yanakevich. Edward Edmonds. Rachel Emily Dolanuk. Brendan Sullivan. Carrie Hansen. Chelsea Green. Nicholas Tate. Jake Snow. Brittany Riviero. Lauren Parker. Mary Smith. Nicole Good. Brennan Allen. Emily Belcher. Sarah Edwards. Brennan Stovall. Matthew Phillips. Alexandra Fleck. Samuel Greenberg. Rihanna Wall. Chrislyn Arrow. An Nguyen. Catherine Kilday. Emma Swaney. Jacob Washko. Meredith McGlynn. Rachel Corrigan. Katie Jensen. Katie Cobb. Jenna Herring. Kara Ford. Lauren Wheeler. Kevin Strassel. Jacob Carroll. Jonathan Baker. Cameron Evans. Samantha Finn. Jessica Adams. Aaron Ryan. Laurie Adams. William Cornelius Whalen. Bart Brown. John Wall. Peter Anand. Lindsay Aramop. Jesse Perkinson. Catherine Studdy. Tyler Warren. Colleen Convery. Varsh Pereretti. Courtney Regina Lewis. Jace Robinson. Christopher Roden. Sean Black. Patrick Beer. John Cott. Anthony D'Amelio. Jonathan Lucas. Spencer Watson. Graham Reinhardt. Benjamin Galen Wilson. Alan Wong. Stephen Delipriscoli. Dylan Cure. Grace Ellis. Brent Kleindienst. Eric Vogel. Matthew Valentine. Michael Folis. Cassie Knowles. Thaddeus Johnson. Lawrence Gibson. Kelsey Quesenberry. Winbin Yu. Tucker Nahu.
Let us applaud the candidates from the College of Science. Will all the candidates for associate and bachelor's degrees please rise? President Sands, I present to you the university candidates for associate and bachelor's degrees.
with the power vested in me by the Board of Visitors and the Commonwealth of Virginia, upon recommendation of the faculty, and upon the successful completion of your courses of study, I confer upon you the associate and bachelor's degrees to which you are entitled, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto. I congratulate each of you who received a degree today, and I ask the audience to recognize your achievement once again with applause. A special thanks to Mr. Paul Wolf, to Professor Jay Crone, and the members of the Virginia Tech Brass Ensemble, and to the Corps Cadets Color Guard for their part in today's ceremony. As we conclude, I urge you to drive safely out of Blacksburg, and on behalf of the Virginia Tech community, I wish you happy holidays. We hope you will find many opportunities to visit our campus in future years. Now, with the closing reflections by Mr. Matthew Ramirez, member at large for the class of 2015, and the recessional, our ceremonies will be concluded.
Congratulations, graduates. I've labored to think of some sagely advice as you venture beyond today. In fact, I still have uncertainties about my path in life. What are my job prospects? Do I want to pursue a new interest? Or where might I end up living? Upon sharing these concerns, a friend emailed me a quote by Marianne Williamson. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. It is not just in some of us, it is in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. When we first set foot on campus, our main focus was to achieve a college degree. What we really learned is that we gained a Hokie family of mentors, friends, and a deep understanding of UPROSM that I may serve. So as we venture forth into the unknown, let's do that with some boldness and a sense of purpose, and know that we are not alone. Let's allow our Hokie maroon and orange light to shine. And for one last time, let's go.
Hokie!